What's PB Poppin' Battlers? Welcome back to another episode of Silph Arena Season 2. And today I'm so excited to bring to you my weighted Ferocious Cup. And I went 5-0, so I'm super happy. Little backstory to it, I was really pissed off the whole time because I left my new phone at home. And so I had my old phone with me, which is super slow. You know, it just takes forever to choose a Pokemon. And I don't know if you guys notice on iPhones, but when you are searching for a Pokemon and you type in the first letter of the Pokemon, it takes forever for the game to register. I don't know why, it just takes forever. And especially with an old phone, it was just really unpleasant. And I was out of storage for most of the tournament, so I had to go back and delete videos. So I was only able to get 11 of my 15 actual games recorded. Thankfully, my last opponent, shout out to Joe, he sent me the last 3 battles, so I actually only got 8. He got the last 3, he sent them to me. And so the last match will be from his perspective. But yeah, so I was just kind of lucky that I was able to focus on one game at a time and that was all I could do. And I was able to predict a lot of leads, and I played, I think, pretty well, and we won the tournament. So before we get started, I also want to give a huge shout out to everyone who subscribed to my channel. I forgot to give a shout out last video, but shout out to my friend Billy, who he has a YouTube channel, The Trainer Club. He's local to me, and so we've been playing a lot ever since he kind of came back into town. We've been playing a lot of Pokemon Go together and talking a lot, and I helped him with one of his videos. He gave me a shout out. I got a lot of subscribers from that, so I'm super thankful. Thank you guys for subscribing, and it really means a lot to me. And I think that is it in terms of announcements I wanted to do. I can't remember. So this is going to be a video 20 some minutes, so let's just get right into it. I'm going to hit play here, and we're going to go into the battle. You guys probably have seen a lot of shoutcasts by now, so I'm not going to try to bore you too much, but my first opponent is someone who is local, obviously local, but she plays pretty well, and so she has the Alolan Ninetales, pretty standard team, Skuntank, Nidoqueen, and I'm going to maximize the screen here so I can see what's going on. Okay, she has Umbreon and Lanoon, so I lead with Suicune because I'm trying that strategy, kind of debuff them, switch, just try to debuff as many of their players as possible, their Pokemon, and so I get that going against the Ninetales, and then I decide not to shield because it's really not that smart to shield with Suicune unless you really know what you're doing, so I didn't really feel I needed to shield here. So I hit it with another Bubble Beam, and then I swap into Skuntank, which is a good counter for Ninetales, and then she swaps out to Umbreon. And this was dumb of me. I I went Crunch. I don't know why I did that. I wasn't thinking at the time. So she goes Foul Play, which also, I'm not sure if she had Last Resort or not. I forget, but Foul Play was not the right move to do. I learned from my mistake. I goes Flamethrower this time. And by the way, that was kind of one of my secrets for this tournament, going Flamethrower. And the reason is because I want to run into Skuntank in the mirror and then catch it off guard. They most likely won't shield a Flamethrower just because Skuntank is resistant to Sludge Bomb and Crunch, which are the standard moves that people have been using. So I figure it's neutral to fire. I'll throw Flamethrower at it and catch it off guard. That was kind of one of my strategies. Also, I can one-shot kill an Alolan Sandslash with it. So that's why I kind of thought it was a good move to put in there as a kind of a surprise move. And my other surprise move was Ice Beam on my Suicune. Again, not a lot of people shield it because they're not expecting it. It charges much faster than Hydro Pump. And so people are going to be like, oh, that's not a Hydro Pump, so I'm not going to shield that. You hit him with Ice Beam, it does a lot of damage to Skuntank, and so I'm kind of going for those surprise moves there, so that's what I'm doing. Okay, so back to the match. I use Earth Power against Lanoon. She doesn't shield. Well, she's out of shields. So now she brings back her Ninetales. I thankfully do have a shield still. And so in this situation, when your opponent has a shield and you're down to your last Ninetales, you don't want to do a charge move because the charge move will only do 1 damage if the person shields, which they automatically will. However, your charms will do more damage. And so, yeah, her mistake there was going for the charge move. And I think I probably would have won anyways because I had the counter, but still, you got to be careful with that. Okay, so we're on our second match now, and I lead Bibarel, and I switch into Skuntank. It's a safe switch, and so I switch into that. And then I shield there, so it wasn't the best shield. But then I go for Flamethrower, and she shields, so we're now 1 shield apiece. And then she beats me to the charge move again. And she goes Dig this time, and I don't shield. So that was bad. I kind of was expecting another Grass Knot, and yeah, she totally fainted me there. So here I go with Umbreon, and she switches into Alolan Ninetales. I have to go Last Resort because it does more damage. But then I quickly swap out to Bibarel. This is pre-update, by the way, before Niantic ruined the switch mechanic again. And so that's a very unfortunate thing that they did. I don't know why. But actually, I think they said they were trying to trying to fix the switch tray glitch. But they ended up making it worse, like they often do. So hopefully they'll revert back. Anyways, back to the match. Umbreon versus Bibarel. This is not looking good for me because Umbreon is such a tank. And there's nothing I can do here. I have an Umbreon. She's got an Umbreon with way more health. And so I'm going to go ahead and lose this match, or this game. And then we'll see what happens in Game 3. Now, one of my strategies also, while you're watching this here, Ninetales versus Umbreon. What's a better lead? If you're watching this and you still have a tournament, if you think they're going to lead one of those two, it is safer to lead Ninetales, because if you lead Umbreon versus Umbreon, you'll tie. If you lead Umbreon versus their Ninetales, you're screwed, because they're obviously winning that matchup. So you're either going to tie or lose. If you lead Ninetales versus Ninetales, you'll tie, but if you lead Ninetales versus their Umbreon, you win. And so you see there, I just led my Ninetales, and she led Umbreon, and that was a good situation for me. So you're either going to tie or lose with Umbreon, or tie or win with Ninetales. And so that's why I like to lead Ninetales more often than Umbreon. Unless I really don't expect them to lead Ninetales, then I'll lead Umbreon. But if they haven't maybe led Umbreon or Ninetales, or I'm just not sure what they're going to lead, I think they're going to lead that, then I go Ninetales. And so that's just a little trick there. Just from like a statistic standpoint, you have a higher probability of being safe leading with Ninetales versus Umbreon in that situation. Okay, so hopefully that helped you if you still have some tournaments going on. It's still the 18th of November, so there's still, 12 days left in the month. Some of you still have tournaments to go. So hopefully that little nugget helped you. Okay, so I put in Ninetales again, and I'm back in a situation that I want to be in. So she switches out. She has her Ninetales. Now with shields down, I think you will do more damage doing a charge move, so I went ahead and did a Psyshock. And she knocks me down, and then I knock her out with Skuntank. And then I have a pretty big health advantage at this point, so Umbreon probably won't be able to finish me off from this situation. So I go Flamethrower, because that's the better move in this case, and almost knocks her out, and then we feint her down with with Poison Jabs. Okay, so there you go. Now my next opponent is Scarlet Snow 16. She has an interesting team. Raikou, and then Rhyhorn I noticed right away, and then Alolan Marowak. So I kind of thought this would be an easy team to beat. However, in the first game, and I apologize, this is the second game. The first game, she Houdini'd me with Rhyhorn, meaning she disappeared on me. But I had my earbuds in, so I heard the Mud Slaps coming in, and so I was able to still win that game. Here's the second game. She has her Marowak in here versus my Bibarel. This is a very, very good situation for me. So she switches out to her Bibarel, and then I go in Hyper Fangs because I'm trying to go for the damage. And she doesn't shield, so we're looking okay right now. I decide to shield just in case, but she baits me with the Surf, and so that was not a good situation here. So I go Surf, and I bait the shield, so I'm, back in it. And then at this point, I'm probably not going to shield no matter what happens. But I do get to a Surf first, and she decides not to waste a shield, rightfully so. She goes back in with Marowak, and look at our water guns just melting it. So that was awesome. Obviously, no shield here. And then I go with Nidoqueen. I wasn't expecting her to bring Rhyhorn again. Okay, so Rhyhorn's Mud Slaps do a lot of damage to Nidoqueen and Skuntank just because it's ground. And I did a Earth Power just hoping to get a debuff, and we did. So I'm kind of feeling like there's a glimmer of hope here. But look at those Mud Slaps just melting me away. And my mistake here was shielding Nidoqueen. I probably should have saved the shield for Skuntank because Skuntank charges faster. And so if you save a shield for Skuntank, you can get more charge moves off than Nidoqueen. And so since she had a shield, it probably would have been better for me to save a shield. Because you see, I didn't get to my crunch in time, and she just knocks me out. But in the third game, I did predict she'd bring Rhyhorn again, and she did. So I had my Bibarel ready for her. And in the end, we both had it in the back. I feinted her with one Surf, and we ended up winning the match. So Round 3, Spandalicio, who is a really, really good player. He's in, I think, the top 100 or right around there in the country. I faced him in Sinister, and I won 2-1, but he's a really solid player. I noticed he has a Suicune, and so I was expecting him to try that slip and slide strategy, and so I did predict a lead, and I did. So then there, I led Skuntank because it's a safer lead when I think they're going to lead with Suicune. I don't want it to damage my Ninetales or whatever, so let's see what happens. So, you know, he goes the Bubble Beams at me, tries to debuff my attack, so I'm not shielding. Then he switches into Skuntank, so far it's pretty textbook in terms of that strategy. But here's my situation that I wanted to be in. I catch him in a mirror match, I throw Flamethrower, even though I'm debuffed. It does a lot of damage. He wasn't expecting it because he wasn't expecting me to run Flamethrower. So I get that Flamethrower to land, and that's exactly what I wanted to happen. Okay, and then I switch into Barrel here because I want to maybe preserve my Skuntank just in case he has a Ninetales in the back. So I feint down the Skuntank, but then he comes back. Oh, so then he comes back with Ninetales. So I'm probably feeling a little bit more confident, but because my Skuntank is debuffed, it's not going to do a lot of damage. Plus, you see that I just missed. I didn't have enough energy, so that was unlucky. And now he's got a big energy advantage here, and I shield. So that was good. And then he brings back Suicune to lower my attack. And so this was kind of rough for me, especially because Suicune just charges so quickly. But now I have a Psyshock, and I think this might have been a mistake because he had a shield. I wasted a turn there, so I should have just gone straight Charms. I probably would have won that. So that's one of the things I learned about this tournament. I hadn't really thought about it much before, but now I really know. I'm really learning. Okay, if you're down to your last Pokemon that has really powerful quick moves, and they have a shield, there's no point in throwing a charge move because it's just going to waste a turn. You're only going to do 1 damage, and you're going to end up losing. So you saw right there the prime example. I would have won that match had I just gone straight Charms. So here we go again. I predicted the Suicune lead again because he won, so I was like, okay, maybe he'll do it again. So I go Barrel, a little, also pretty safe lead against Suicune. I'm expecting him to hit me with a bunch of Bubble Beams. Not even sure if he had another attack, to be honest. So I go Surf. I'm trying to bait a shield, and he doesn't fall for it. So he's a pretty tough opponent, so I'm nervous at this point. I go Umbreon, because Umbreon's really tanky, so I don't mind Umbreon against Lanoon. So I go Dark Pulse here. That was another one. That was another move that I liked better than Foul Play. It just does a little bit more damage, and it can hit a little bit harder. We have some lag here, which is really annoying. But yeah, I like Dark Pulse a little bit more than Foul Play, but they're both pretty much awesome. Okay, so he goes Grass Knot. Doesn't do a lot of damage, so I'm saving my shield, and so is he. I go Dark Pulse again. Not anticipating him to shield, so we knock him out. We have a little bit of energy. So he brings in Piloswine, and I go Dark Pulse once again. He shields, and then at this point, Umbreon, I don't need him anymore, so I'm going to let him faint. And then I got in, this was probably a bad move. I should have gone Barrel, but Flamethrower also does good damage because it's an ice type. So I decide to try to bait the shield first, so I charge all the way up to Flamethrower. The bait works, so that was huge. I bait his last shield, and so now all I got to do is get it to a Flamethrower, and he should be going to sleep here. So let's see what happens. Flamethrower charging up, and go to sleep. So now we're back to Suicune, and I get to a crunch. Luckily, I don't know how, I get to a crunch before he gets to a Bubble Beam, and we knock him out. So now we're tied 1-1. Then he does something I was not anticipating. You see him leading with Nidoqueen? I was not anticipating he would lead with Suicune again. But this guy is very gutsy. He leads with Suicune once again. So this I was not expecting. This is a very bad lead matchup for me. So I immediately swap out into Skuntank. And I know I'm going to get hit with a barrage of Bubble Beams. But I just wanted to save my Nidoqueen just in case he had a Ninetales or something like that. I kind of anticipated him to bring Ninetales. Was not expecting him to lead. Also, he had Minun, which he didn't even bring. I was really scared about that Minun. I thought he might bring it in Game 3. That's part of the reason I led Nidoqueen, and he just did not do that. So I'm like, oh crap. But he brings in a Ninetales, so I'm like, oh, okay, awesome. I'm going to burn the shield with Flamethrower. And Skuntank, I think, did its job. I was expecting Ninetales. That's why I brought 2 counters to Ninetales. And so it actually worked out. He did bring Ninetales, so I'm sitting really pretty right now. I go for my Earth Power to see if he will shield it, and he does. And then I swap out to Umbreon because I do not want to get hit with any move that Suicune has. Even Bubble Beam does a chunk because it's, you know, we're weak to water. So I go Umbreon. He swaps out to Skuntank, and then again, that was a bad attack. That was a good swap on his part. So I switched over to Last Resort. That does more damage. Okay, so he takes it. And then I think at this point, I want to save my shield for Nidoqueen just in case I need to keep it alive. And I figure I can get to one more charge move before. And so we hit him with a Last Resort. He's shieldless right now, so this is a really good situation. Hits us with Sludge Bomb, which is actually good because I want to farm a little bit of energy, so that actually worked out. And so now I have the energy advantage. I'm able to get to an Earth Power. And we win Game 3. That was super stressful. Really, really happy about that. That was a stressful match. Okay, now, my friend Shake here, he goes by Shake, and this is when I ran out of storage again. I was only able to record one match. I got the second match. He has a pretty similar team to me. He's just running Lanoon instead of Suicune. But we hit a glitch here, but it ended up not affecting the outcome. But it was a glitch I don't think I've seen before. You're going to see it. I'm going to try to... The screen recording got corrupt, so I had to screen record the screen recording. So you'll see what happens. But anyways, I led Suicune, I think, the first match. And I was going to lead it again, thinking he wouldn't expect it, but he did. So he led with Lanoon and caught me. Oh wait, no, did I not lead with Suicune? I'm sorry, I might have forgot. But anyways, not important. Let's just watch what's going on. I'm about to get hit with a Hyper Fang, but I shield. And then I charge up to a Last Resort. And we get the Excellent. And he doesn't shield, so that was nice. He was saving his shield. And we have to pay attention to the shields because that's what the glitch happened, okay? So let's watch. Hyper Fang. I shield. I go Dark Pulse. He doesn't shield. But then he brings in a Lanoon that's full of energy. And he uses Dig on me, which does quite a bit of damage. And then I go Last Resort, which is like my last resort at this point. No pun intended. He doesn't shield because it's not going to do a lot of damage when he's that full of health. And then he knocks me out. Okay, this is where it kind of... I had to like fast forward the video because it started to pause here. He hits me with... that. Okay, let's see. Come on, foul play. Alright, so right around here when I get my Skuntank back in, that's where the file kind of got corrupted, but that's also where the glitch happened. Notice how he's shieldless. He has no shields. Okay, I go Skuntank in here, and this is where he gets a glitch that I'm just calling... It's just like a phantom shield, basically. A ghost shield. I do a charge move, and it didn't do any damage. I've never seen that before, and I was really like, what the heck is going on? Okay, so here, I'm doing my charge move. You see there, my crunch... Okay, hold on. No shields there. I wanted you to notice the no shields. So here I go with crunch, and then... watch how little damage it does. He doesn't have any shields. So I'm trying to fast forward here because I'm trying to play it because it won't play by itself. So you see there, he gets hit with the crunch and he takes 1 damage. And so at this point, I'm like, you didn't shield, right? Or did you have a shield? He didn't remember at the time. He wasn't sure, but he knocks me out. Luckily, I had a Nidoqueen with just enough health to finish him off. And then when we looked back at it, he was like... Then he remembered, like, oh, I didn't have any shields. So, yeah, you would have won that anyways. So, luckily, it's nice to play with people who you're friends with. And, like, they play fair and they don't try to screw you over, basically. But that was a really interesting glitch. And that could have really cost me a match if that happened at the wrong time. So, that was really, really weird. Anyways, final match. Me versus Joe. Okay, so he's leading Suicune. He has a team pretty similar to mine, except he has Shelgon, where I have Umbreon. I was really surprised he didn't bring Umbreon. I was like, whoa, that's weird. So I lead Umbreon. I was kind of expecting him to lead Suicune because he had Suicune, so he probably knows how to use it. So I did guess the lead correctly that time. So he hits me with Hydro Pump, and I wasn't shielding, wasn't prepared for it. So I go for a Dark Pulse, and he's not shielding, which is pretty smart. Don't really need to shield a whole lot in this situation. So he hits me with another Bubble Beam, lowers my attack, and Umbreon already has kind of a low attack stat to begin with, so I go with Dark Pulse. Still didn't faint him. He hits me with another Bubble Beam. Or no, Hydro Pump, sorry. He knocks me out with Hydro Pump. Whoops, sorry about that. Okay, now I bring in Ninetales to quickly feint it down, and now he has either Ninetales or Bibarel. He goes for the mirror match here, and then I switch into Skuntank, which it looks like he was trying to switch. So that was, yeah, I don't know, because of the charm animation, he was not timing it correctly. So he had to take that hit, and then he swapped out. Now he's using his last shield to try to farm me down. So he does farm me down. However, my Ninetales, I believe I still have a shield. So I burned my shield. Actually, I had 2 shields at that point. So I was in a good situation in terms of shields. I think that's what helped me win this game. So then I feint him down. We had a little bit of weird lag. I think it's because his Go Plus was spinning a stop. So yeah, maybe don't use your Go Plus during battles. That might help you not lag. Okay, so he goes Psyshock. A little bit more lag here. Come on. Okay. Alright, so then I feint him down with a Charm. So we just squeaked by a win there. So that was crazy. Alright, so now he's going to lead Alolan Ninetales. I'm trying to remember what I was thinking at this point in time. Because I can't remember what I led here. I go with Skuntank. So I actually predicted the lead. So that was awesome. I was trying to go safe. Maybe I was predicting a Suicune again, but still Skuntank is a pretty safe lead if you're predicting a Suicune or a Ninetales. And so I guessed the lead correctly. He swaps to Suicune. I go into Umbreon because I like to have Umbreon versus Suicune because I can charge, as fast as Suicune can. So I like to use Umbreon in this situation. So he's trying to hit me with a Hydro Pump. But he goes to Bubble Beam. I think he was trying to bait a shield. I don't fall for it because I think even a Hydro Pump wasn't going to KO me. So I felt comfortable not shielding. And here we go. Hydro Pump. Then he hits me with it. But, the trade-off there is he doesn't lower my attack by hitting me with Hydro Pump. So it keeps me a little bit stronger for the next opponent. So that's the trade-off there. But, yeah. So he goes back into Ninetales. Hits me with an Ice Beam, but I believe I shield because I want to farm it down. Or just I want to knock it out. So I hit Crunch. And then here is his fatal mistake that cost him the match. He doesn't shield here. Now, had he shielded, he would have had enough health to hit my Ninetales with 2 Hyper Fangs. Because he saved his shield, I was able to charm him down. And so, yeah, he was really kicking himself after that one. And I feel bad for him, but, that's just PvP. You make one tiny little mistake and it can cost you, and it's happened to me plenty times. So, yeah, so we ended up winning the tournament. This is just our final game for fun. But I want to show you this match because he totally owns me with his Suicune. So, he actually swaps into it to mirror mine. And he hits me with Hydro Pump. And in the mirror, you want to go with Hydro Pump over Ice Beam, but I ran Ice Beam just as a surprise move. But Hydro Pump is the better move if you're, going for mirrors and other stuff for pure damage. So he hits me with Bubble Beam. I think he hits me 4 times. 4 times he hits me with Bubble Beam. And yeah, it was quite hilarious. He doesn't even shield because if I'm going Surf, trying to bait shields, it doesn't do any damage. And then he hits me again. And he really played well with Suicune in this match. That's kind of why I wanted to show it to you. Showing that you don't always have to lead with it. You can swap into it as like a safe switch. Which not many people do. A lot of people like to lead with it. So he totally lowers my attack. And at this point, he could pick any Pokemon he wants. He's gonna feint me before I feint it. And even Hyper Fang does very little damage at this point. So he farms me up. I try to play the same game he played to me, so I start throwing Bubble Beams, but he switches out. And then by throwing in Ninetales, he's able to feint me before I can get more Bubble Beams off. And so, yeah, so there you go. I was only able to get 1 off on him. And then he had energy built up, and I believe, yeah, I burned one of my first shield here. I'm thinking I might be okay in this situation, but he has 2 shields, so even if I get to a Flamethrower, it's not going to do anything. And so I think I was just going for quick moves. And so then I start unloading my energy on this B-Barrel, but he has shield, so there's really nothing I can do. I'm just too low health, and he ends up winning the 3rd game. But yeah, so there you go. Oh wait, I had another Pokemon in? Totally forgot. Oh yeah, well he had energy, so yeah, my B-Barrel was useless at that point. So anyways, yeah, got really lucky. I predicted a lot of leads that really helped me, and I saved my shields when I needed to, and it helped us win that tournament. So there you go. My next video is going to be about the rules. I still want to make a video about the rules, especially with lag. This is going to be a very important video. I think the Silph people, tournament organizers, people at Silph need to see. And so hopefully if you can remember to share it on Twitter when that video drops. I want to get a conversation going about lag and how to approach it, because there's so many situations where people lag and it just totally swings the outcome of the match. And I don't think that's really fair, especially when it happens early enough where you can easily repeat what happened the first time. And so that's what's going to come in the next video. So if you like this video, please hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks again so much for watching, and good luck if you have a Ferocious Cup tournament for the rest of this month. Hope you guys do well, and we'll see you in the next video.